because it's so OP in the bot lane. You lose anyway because they go Talon and eat everybody's face, but...
That's what I've been noticing pretty soon. It's like, I win my lane, I end up, 4-0 coming out of lane, and then the enemy Zed appears out of no... Or, better yet, the freaking enemy Kayn. It's been happening so many of my games. For those of you who don't know, I am a Jhin main. I love Jhin. He's my favorite champion ever. And so I go back to ult. And I'm sitting at the back of the team fight, like 3 distance away, shooting off pot shots at the enemy carries. I'm like, I have everyone accounted for except Kayn, who walks out of the wall behind me, one-shots me, walks back through the wall. I'm just sitting there like, ADC in 2K. Yeah, guys. Just hunker down, any ADC main.
Yeah, all right,
it's
so
gonna be a rough ride.
Let's talk about this game, because it might be a rough ride for the players in this. But first, I want to say, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to XLNC Shoutcasting. I am Jake Kelton, the one you see on the screen, and my dual caster is XLNC Wraith. He is currently at his house across the way, so you're not going to be able to see his lovely face tonight, which means I get to wear the Teemo hat again.
Don't worry, I still have 2 weeks of Teemo hat saved up.
No, it resets every week.
I will catch the...
Resets every week.
It does, Jake.
Anyways, we're gonna talk about this game as we get into it.
Let's update this for just a second. Yeah, there's no pause on Yasuo. For those of you who just tuned in about 3 weeks ago, he spent 2 games on Yasuo, absolutely solo carrying and destroying one of the cleanest Yasuos we've ever had on this stream. So the fact that there's no pause got Yasuo should be a cause for pause on the enemy team.
Yeah, but also we do see a little bit of the regular bans of Zac, Galio, no surprise there, but we have some serious bannage from the red team, not challenger yet, against the mid laner, the Diana, the Cassiopeia, and the Orianna, all being banned away from Diact. Poor Diact. Resdra, I super focus you to make sure
I've got to say, I think Farman, he usually plays mid when he comes up. But, surprised to see the Diana banned away. Or do you know if she got any changes recently?
Yes, she did recently get a big buff, so her burst is a lot more. I've watched a little bit of Bjergsen play her in the mid lane, and she just wipes if she gets the right burst on people. So I can hear you on my phone, but not on my PC. Lollipop Source, check your PC's audio setting and see if you accidentally dropped Chrome audio down, or maybe play with like headphone settings. But anyway, some of these picks are interesting. It's also going to be our first time seeing Kayn in the game. Welcome, Lonely Top Laner, as well as Black Death. I think you're new to this game as we start to go into the picks and bans, the bans for the second time around. We also have a Darius and a Fiora. On the red side, the Wukong, Kalista, and Yasuo. So some serious AD showing up so far, except for the Akali.
So somebody banning away Lolo's favorite support.
Yes,
Spamming the Rakan for the longest time.
So both of these teams banning away the supports. Now, will they continue to focus supports, or will they switch to? It looks like we're still waiting on potentially junglers from both teams, though it is likely a Kayn jungler from Team Holding Eggs. Is the Wukong more likely to go top or jungle for Jafar?
Well, except from Wukong and Darius, and this might have changed since I played it, but I used to be a Wukong. Wukong Darius back in Season 2 was heavily Darius favored, but Wukong does have the option to control with W, the clone. When he knows Darius is going for an ultimate, he gets low, then holds W, pops the W, and you can actually eat Darius's ultimate with the W.
With the clone.
It's pretty hilarious and very tilting for the poor Darius because he doesn't get the reset. Let's see what's going to be picked up. We got the Lulu coming out of Lolo in the bottom lane.
I've
seen him do some serious work on that champion, even denying a Baron steal, using the ultimate to knock them back over the wall.
Best play I've ever seen by a Lulu support, and probably will stay that way for forever. And we get the Jhin coming out. I like that Lazy decided to go for the bot lane AD carry role, as Phantom is going to be on that Akali in the mid lane, taking Ignite. So we're going to see some explosive damage from Team Holding Eggs, which is kind of ironic. Ooh, do we get a Tark as well? He recently got a little bit of buffs, and
He's actually top tier right now.
the tank items getting a major buff makes him so incredibly strong. Is that once you get to about that 15 to 20 minute time in a game, you're going to have some serious damage, or serious tank stats on that Tarek. Mid lane, Lux being picked up, which means it's most likely that Wukong in the jungle, Yasuo in the top lane.
Well, we both know who I'm rooting for. I always root for the team that
has the Jhin.
Regardless.
Well, does that mean I have to support the other side? I think we did say we had to support the other side if somebody. So you picked first. So that means, see, I think that's how you're winning, though, is that you get to pick first.
Because you keep stealing my Teemo hack.
Well, anyway, I'm going to talk for the next 25 seconds as to why my team is going to win, not Challenger yet. It's because they're not Challenger yet. They will be eventually. No, honestly, it's mostly heavily on There's No Pause with this Yasuo. He is an absolute monster on that champion, and I know that Darius can put out some serious damage, but I think if Wukong Jafar goes tank, which I believe he will, if he goes tank in that game, he should have a strong enough frontliner, and then enough of the damage follow-up. You've got Lulu as well to peel off for the Kayn, for the Whimsy, to Whimsy Darius before he ults, the wild growth on somebody that's about to die. There's a lot of opportunities for some really good team fighting potential in that team. Callista late game, especially for those buff steals, is going to be huge. So I think they have a pretty good team fight composition if they group after lanes start to go down.
Well said, Jake. And to be honest, I totally agree with you. Team Challenger yet has the much better team case. Holding Eggs is going to be relying mostly on pick potential via the Akali and Kayn, split push pressure with Darius, and once again, their saving grace in team fights is Tarek's ultimate. Now, the combinations that are going to be coming down from Team Not Challenger yet is Stealth Wukong ultimate in Yasuo knockup. You also have the Callista ultimate into Yasuo. Callista ultimate into Lulu ultimate into Yasuo knockup. And then all chained into the Lux AoE damage. They have a massive team fighting comp. So really, what Team Holding Eggs is going to have to do is split the map. And to be honest, unless Holding Eggs gets a pretty good advantage in lane, they're probably going to lose. But I still root for Jhin regardless.
Right, their
team comp is just not as strong.
Right, the key with Holding Eggs, one of the advantages that they have is that they're super easy to start fights. And Not Challenger yet doesn't exactly have the best way to get together if they're split. Meaning that Holding Eggs, you start with the Jhin ult. Kayn can come out of a wall. Tarek stun landing. There's so many different ways to engage in a team fight, whereas Not Challenger yet, the only way to truly engage in a fight is if Wukong ults, maybe a Lux snare, but you're really heavily relying on those skill shots. Whereas
ultimate Yasuo range to knock up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. It's a lot of skill shots to engage in a fight, whereas Holding Eggs can a bit easier start a fight very quickly, like a skirmish. Not really a fight, not a 5v5.
Yeah,
but a skirmish, they're so much better at getting a pick because Jhin throws an ult or Darius grabs somebody over a wall. So I think it's really going to come down to the early laning phase. If Not Challenger yet can get a heavy snowball started, they're probably going to win it. But if Team Holding Eggs can last through the laning phase, get to that 25-minute mark, they should be able to have enough just overall damage and tank stats, the Bruiser Darius, the Bruiser Kayn, the super tanky frontline Tarek, that they could potentially win like a 3v3 or a 3v4 if they find the right fight and push in to get a Baron or something and win the game. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, the key is going to be snowballing off picks for them. Because if they engage into a 5-man team fight, it's barring serious misplay from the other team, it's just with the chain CC between Yasuo and Wukong, there's so many ways to multi-combo into his ultimate. But if the weakness of that comp, if they can pick off the Yasuo, if they can pick off the Wukong, suddenly the team fight goes in their favor because the individual champion stats are a little bit stronger. Also, the fact that Callista, while she's a good lane bully, is not that great late game. the reason that she relies on Ren damage, and in late game team fights, people are getting burst so fast that you don't get to Ren stack and then Ren reset.
I would agree, though super late game, that Rend is on a pretty low cooldown. But I'm going to go ahead and run through the champions and their players real quick as we load into the game, because we were talking so much about teams, which I love. I'm totally cool with that. Is for the blue team, or team holding eggs, we have Phantom of Temp playing the Akali in the mid lane, Fire 90 taking the Darius in the top lane, Lonely top laner taking the Kayn in the jungle, debugging with the Jhin in the bottom lane carry role, and Kalarakian taking Taric in the bottom lane support role. And for Not Challenger, I'm going to run through real quick. We've got There's No Pause taking the Yasuo in the mid lane, the Black Death taking the Kalista in the bottom AD carry role, Jafar with the jungle Wukong, Lulu Zozo support Lulu, and Diact with the mid lane Lux, because There's No Pause is Yasuo top. Sorry about that, guys.
Which is and depressingly missed clicking on the fountain to see its health and lack of movement speed.
Yeah.
25 damage on a 2-5 attack speed.
You gotta wonder, are they ever gonna buff that? Because seriously, I don't think that's
I
enough.
don't know.
I don't think that's enough.
The fountain just seems under. I'm just waiting for them to level it up. I mean, Urgot got a rework. Why doesn't the fountain get a rework?
It's seriously, I'm gonna
Riot,
start
it's
spamming
time.
I would spam that in all of Riot's postings from here on out for sure.
Buff the fountain. It's not strong enough.
Can you move your mouse and hover over what's the item the Wukong has? I'm not super familiar with junglers, and it's a different item than usually is seen. For some reason, my mouse isn't doing the.
Oh yeah, that it's basically just a item. It gives extra XP. It's the other half of what is that item? Spam the chat. It's the first upgrade before you go into like skirmishers.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's the other half of that item. Usually, you then having Hunter's Machete.
So he's looking for those fights, not looking for a tracker's knife, not looking for, kind of following around, which is totally exactly what you're talking about. Is the win condition for Not Challenger Yet is those early to mid game fights. I think, as we said, we need to be a little bit careful about true skirmishes. But if they have that grouping fight, if they get a Yasuo teleport, which he doesn't have teleport, that's actually a huge thing to keep track of, is the fact that the Darius has teleport and can make some of these teleport plays, whereas Not Challenger Yet does not have the teleport.
Yeah, oftentimes when you see a top laner who doesn't take teleport, you can almost guarantee the fact that they're not planning on roaming. There's going to be an AFK split pusher in the game, which is pretty big if he manages to. If There's No Pause can take down solo kill Fire a couple of times, which looks like it might happen right here.
He's starting, gets the knockup. There's the exhaust as well. He just needs a couple more auto attacks, and he does.
Yep, there it is.
Already coming out. Didn't need any ignite, didn't need any extra damage, just the exhaust to keep Darius from running back to the tower, and picks up that first kill that we were talking about. So already first blood over to Not Challenger Yet. Akali going in, Phantom of Temp, just gonna back off. This
that was
mid-lane, is that you get either super burst damage or no damage.
Yeah. Down in the bottom lane, trading into a Lulu is always a little bit tilting. You end up getting. Okay, that was an interesting.
Nice dodge as well. Debugging very low health. He's going to be on the run. Can the Black Death catch him? One spear with the Rend, enough to take him out. So nice. 2 kills over to Not Challenger Yet. Is he going to get the Rend on the Taric? Not going to happen. It still is early.
It's still on cooldown.
Yeah, it does not.
Oh, really?
Early cooldown. Or it doesn't have quite enough cooldown on it yet. I do think they buffed that Rend, though, because I've seen people in. Especially the LCK, that they can rend almost every third auto attack or something late game. It's really fast.
Yeah, when you kill something with it,
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing about rend and
you
late
can
game
tell that
team
I play
fights.
AD a lot. Now let's look like
fight.
Kayn is going to be ganking the mid lane here. However, the ignite is down. Is Akali going to go down first? Diak does pick up the kill before flashing and going down. Not worth the flash. And Akali actually got credit for that kill, so nicely played in the mid lane for both of those mid laners picking up a kill, but Kayn did get the assist. Go ahead.
It's a pretty big deal in the mid lane that and Kayn helping out that lane, because the way Akali works is a lot like Vladimir and a few of the kind of like Kog'Maw in the bottom lane, that she's really punishable early game, much like Fizz. Hold on, it looks like we've got a 1v1. Well, never mind.
Yeah, that's sometimes what happens, but Sun might be going down. No, Lolo going to be nicely dodging that. Even dodges the snare as well. Polymorph onto the Taric. The flash has been burned. All like summoners using the bot except for the flash, and the Jhin who did the flash execute. Nicely done on that fourth shot. There's no pause in the top lane. Thank you, Raw I'm Dead, for the follow. Appreciate it as always. There's no pause going in on the Slash Fire. The flash burned on Slash Fire as well. So flash is all over the place. But
definitely a curious choice, pulling him closer to you to flash away. I feel like if he hadn't used the pull in the Descent, walked away. Or even better, the bait would have been to direct power range, get the turn outplay. I need something about.
Ooh, damage not going to land on the Akali in the mid lane. The gank from Wukong not super successful. And that's something I was going to comment on, is that Jafar has been mostly farming this game. Hasn't really been active in the lanes, which is hilarious considering that it's already 2 to 5 at the 5-minute mark. So kill per minute so far in this game, with junglers being mostly on the quiet side besides that one Kayn gank in mid lane. We'll see if they decide to pick that up, especially as level 6 is right around the corner for several of these. 6 already on the Yasuo in the top lane.
Yeah, that's probably going to mark the time when he doesn't have a lot of strength, especially without red buff as a ganking. Till he gets his ultimate, he can stealth into lane and actually provide some CC. I was saying earlier about the Akali versus Lux matchup. Akali can be abused super easy, especially by a ranged poke champion type, kind of like Lux, but trading a kill back, that kill is worth a lot more in lane pressure on Akali than it is on Lux. Of course, if Lux gets snowballing, we've all been one shot by Lux ults.
Right, and I think she definitely wins the early laning phase, but Akali, especially mid-game, is going to have a little bit more effectiveness once Lux's cooldowns have been used. Now Kayn ganking the bottom lane, the Black Death's going to get a little bit of damage. This Lolo dodging everything. This man is nuts as the Rend comes through. The Black Death picking up a second kill of the game, just obliterating. And something I wanted to comment on was that it wasn't not that long ago that the Darius was level 3, 22 farm to 52. The top lane Yasuo absolutely abusing his power up there.
Yeah, in the bottom lane, that's an example of it's right there. Lane, it wasn't the best timed gank at all, but there should have been some follow-up there. There was definitely the potential for a kill onto Lolo if debugging had managed to snare a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
and allow the assassination to come through. Oh, this is bad. 7 to 5. Don't take this fight, boys.
Well, the problem with for Slash Fire is he's going to try to heal, but underneath the tower, there's no pause, takes the kill, not even concerned, barely getting out alive, but isn't worried about it because the jungler's in the bot lane. As the bottom lane gets jumped on there, Lolo, I think immediately, no, okay, he didn't go all the way in on that, and so that actually means that the ult now coming out from the turret, keeping debugging alive for the moment. Will it keep him alive long enough? And it does. Jafar now forced to back off with the blue buff, taking a bit of damage on the way out. And I think the issue was that Lolo did not go all the way in, so I don't think Jhin ever got knocked up there.
Yeah, that was really well played out of the bot lane, trading a kill back. Jhin does have scaling on his side. Now, the issue for poor Jhin right now is the Yasuo in the top lane. He's both an assassin and that wind wall completely negated. So a lot of his potential is wrapped by the super fed Yasuo.
I am really intrigued, and I want to go back, by the time we get to the end of the game, I want to go back to that kill at around the 8-minute mark, because, yeah, we're just seeing him die again, no worries there. Actually, in the mid lane, Akali going to pick up a kill on Lux, Phantom attempt, nice claim there. That's what I'm talking about, that mid-game power, as Kayn now trying to finish off the Wukong, but he flashed away. Top laner, getting some nice damage on that one. But I was going to say is, I think there might be Taric having charged up this stun, and as Lolo came out of the ultimate from Black Death, the Fate's Call, the Taric may have stunned, and that's why the Lulu didn't go the full duration. But I'd be interested in going back and checking on that, because there might have been some fascinating plays by the Taric.
Like I was saying in Champ Select, Taric is actually buffed up, and he's now top tier right now, and that's been a long time since he's been probably mid season 6. But the tank item changes this patch are absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, there's a stun down onto Lolo. He is on the run down to a quarter health, but not too much damage gonna happen. But you can see that the post 6 damage from this bot lane team for Team Holding Eggs can get some serious poke down, and they're definitely gonna have lane pressure unless someone ganks or the Lulu and Callista get off the perfect pick.
Yeah. Oh, this.
Oh, there's the Fate's Call again, just gonna be used to knock up the Tarek. The ult there from the Jhin, not gonna be doing a whole lot, as I think he missed a couple of his shots in the bot lane. Camera switching up to the top lane just to see the farming.
Hold on, I wanna.
Yeah, you can back up because you're not the one viewing the stream. So if there's anything funky that you want to back up and watch again, that is totally cool with me.
Click on the Lulu and see if she managed to get her passive.
Oh,
her ultimate. Whether or not she used it in that fight to save someone from Jin's curtain call, but it doesn't look like she did.
No, I don't
they
think
still
she
have
did.
access.
Yeah,
to that.
Wild Growth might be used now as they go underneath the tower. There's the ultimate just to keep people from the Wild Growth used on the Callista, the polymorph Tarek on the run. Can he get away from that? I don't think so once a Ren comes through, but out of range for the Ren. Callista not able to get across the tower. Needs across the room. Oh my goodness, Callista just used the blasting plant. What? As she now goes in onto Jhin 1v1. This is even worse. You do not want to 1v1 with Jhin. Kayn all being used onto the Wukong. Ult there from the Lux. Not quite going to finish off the Akali. The damage down as he flashes in. Lonely top laner picks up the kill on the Wukong. Yasuo finishing out the tower on the top lane. No worries there, but the Lux. Can't you get a double kill? No. Akali damage way too much coming in the mid lane. Slash fire once again on the run. No surprise there. Why is it always the top laner that feeds as Yasuo picks up another kill? Great plays there from Team Holding Eggs in the mid lane. Getting 2 for 1.
Phantom of Tempt getting ahead on the Kali is going to be putting pressure down onto Yasuo will be big. Putting pressure down onto Callista, who really just kind of wants to sit in the back line and hop around. She likes to skirt the edge between danger there, always hopping and trying to kite away. Akali cares not about your kiting. He has 3 super long range dashes and a butt ton of damage to follow it up. But in the bottom lane, I didn't see if anybody actually died in that fight all the way to the middle lane. But Callista is one of the strongest there with Draven, Vayne. Shoot. I don't know if anybody else is stronger than her.
Yeah, I didn't understand why, maybe just a little misplay, why she didn't hit the blast cone over the wall to get the rend on the Tarek. Because she had so many spears in Tarek, it would have definitely killed him. He did get over the wall with the flash, so he's out of range, but if she blast cone over the wall, could have killed him, and then it would have been a 2v1 on the Jhin. But instead... She actually
was still in flash the wall, but she had use the rend under tower to try and slow him down.
So it was on cooldown. There's the Jhin ultimate coming through. One is going to land on Lolo. Nice split there. It takes this 4th shot, but still alright.
It's a good trade of damage. It looks like the jungler is going to come down bottom here in a second.
And chunking out the Lulu is pretty nice because, Fate's Call going to be used by the Lulu. Goes in. Is she going to wild growth herself? There she does. Nice knock-up onto Lazy.
Pop the ult.
Wukong around the corner. Is it going to be enough? There it is. There's the nice knock-up. And now all the spears onto the Tarek. I believe Rend has already been used as we talked about earlier. Nope, there it is. Nice cleanup onto the Tarek as Yasuo just decimating this top lane and the Kayn as well. That's what, okay, this is something I want to talk about really quick for Team Holding Eggs, is that no one should be 1v1ing this Yasuo ever unless they are, just straight up ever. So you either want a 2v1, 3v1, 4v1, or only farm under tower. Sure, there's the potential that he can kill you under tower, but it's unlikely. But if you send 2 or 3 top lane and kill the Yasuo, even if you lose 1 or 2, it stops his pressure from pushing that lane and allows you to then rotate towards the mid lane or bot lane or something. The worst thing you can do is just continue to feed kills. I call it the buffet line, is where you're just going in one at a time, and dying.
No, yeah. At this point, Yasuo's completely out. 5-0, 100C. Yes. to Darius is 33. Good lord. That is okay, to put this in perspective, Tarek has 20 CF. Darius is 33. Yeah, Darius has a 10 CS lead over the support at 14. Which
that's an unfunctional top laner at this point.
yeah, right now he's just a body. And yeah, so speaking of bodies, Yasuo is about to eat this. Oh wait, Kane,
nicely done, going through the wall and able to escape off of that one. It is one of the nicer things about Kane. There is pings now onto the Yasuo, but this is not the 2v1 that you want. They could be pushing into a 3v1, but need to be aware that there is a Wukong around the corner. There is the Wukong going to find Phantom of Temp, has the double buffs as well. Cannot probably get the kill on him early. Now's the 2v1 onto Yasuo. He's just going to decimate both
don't
of
do
them.
this!
However, a 1v1 between these two, both feds. Double, can they get the kill? Phantom of Temp finishes! The Lux ult might be enough to finish off the Akali. She is coming right around the corner, but Darius actually... Ooh, the flash as well to avoid the snare. This is pretty awesome. Can Phantom of Temp with the double buffs get the kill onto Diac? Is the damage there? Nice jump. A more auto attack. No!
Minions!
Lux gets the
Minions!
outplay. The burning down.
Oh!
It does! Phantom of Temp picks up the kill. Beautiful job in the top lane. The other thing I wanted to comment on was that Darius got the shutdown gold. So yes, he is worth gold, but he actually got a decent amount back. And I know that you want to see somebody other than the one who got shot down get the gold. But I think in this case, to be even at bare minimum slightly relevant in the game, it's not the end of the world for Darius to have something that he got back from that. So, because Kane was the only other option, and both of them are doing pretty roughly at this point, 1-5, 1-4. So either one of them getting it is not the end of the world to me.
At this point, Slash Fire is making you go Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver is a 1v1 split. Hold on, it looks...
Oh, Fate's call in. Can they get it down in time? Nice knock up onto the Tarek, but he's just going to throw down the ultimate. Flashes to get to the Jhin in time, and now the ultimate
That was
way
well
forward.
played.
There's a Kane as well as the Darius down here. Great pull from Slash Fire. Is this going to be the huge turn? The outplay, the wild growth on the Kalista, not going to be enough trying to get the damage. The flash from the Kane onto the Lulu. He is underneath the turret, but doesn't matter. 4 pushing bot lane. A great return play from Team Holding Eggs in the bottom lane. 12 kills to 14.
That was perfect play from Slash Fire. He did exactly what he needed to do. He is dead in that lane.
This is amazing as well.
To stop this Yasuo.
Phantom of Temp responding to the Yasuo in the top lane. It's the perfect 1v1 duo. She is going to die, is going to go down. But out of all of the people on Team Holding Eggs that can face off against the Yasuo, she is the only one currently that can do that. Yasuo still gets the tower, might also get the Darius as a bonus. And this is what I'm talking about, the buffet line. Do not buffet line. Going in 1v1. You have anyone else there, that is very likely a kill. But 1v1, there's no way you can do it. As now Kane runs through, however, he is just going to dodge to the side. Still might go down as Kalista picks up that kill.
He walked out of there. He was trying to do some cheeky stuff, walking around, trying to get the outplay. But there were 3 people there. You were alone in the enemy jungle. That was a little bit questionable, but
overstaying your lead. And that's another thing to keep in mind, is that when you start to get those advantages, yes, you feel good, you feel like you're coming back from the game, but don't stick around and lose, something that doesn't need to be. What they should have done, honestly, for bot lane, there's no reason they didn't take the Drake. They could have easily taken the Ocean Drake, which would have been good for their entire team against one of these teams that are a little bit more on the pokey side. And Lux is going to just get bursted down by Phantom of Temp. Beautiful job there from the mid laner of Team Holding Eggs.
Well done. Remember what I said, that their team comp's going to revolve around picks. Now, this should be very scary for Holding Eggs. They're starting to group. Jafar's ultimate, and There's No Pause, who is 6-1, 7-1, right, 9-1. My bad.
Yeah.
Knocked up here.
It's Yasuo, very OP. Kane going through the wall is not going to be knocked out.
Scouting mission,
That is something nice about
Backing
Kane,
it out.
is that you can knock him out of the wall with enough damage. As long as he's like close to an edge, he's going to pop out. But this Kane is actually pretty good. Lonely top laner, playing him a little bit better than I've seen most Kanes play, honestly. So there's no pause, gonna go in. Oh, nice invisibility by the Akali at the last second. So there's no pause, is forced to back off. Kane coming in there, nice knock up onto Wukong from the wall. He's gonna ult as well onto the Yasuo, but the ult from Yasuo has already been used. There's this oh my gosh, I cannot talk. Invincibility from the Taric as Kalista just goes huge with the help of this Yasuo, who's just going to be destroying. There's no pause. He's picked up a double kill, quadra kill. I'm sorry, not going to get the pentakill as Kalista finishes off the Darius. Pentakill stolen by the Black Death.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected to happen. Yasuo in team fight, they don't have a good answer to him. The only prayer in the team fight is to direct all of Akali's assassin damage on toward the Yasuo. If they can take him out of the fight early, and then scale into late game, they'll be a little bit better. But it's looking pretty grim for the egg holders.
Yeah, now 8,000 gold of not challenger yet is definitely making their way to be a challenge for Team Holding Eggs. Something I wanted to comment on was that the fight wasn't horrific at the very, very beginning, but there was no reason from Team Holding Eggs to push out from the turret. Once they left that turret range, they were in trouble, because with the Darius and the Kayn being so far down, it went from a 6v, or almost a 5v5 because of the turret, to easily a 4v5, if not 4v6 with the super fed Yasuo. So when you're under a situation like that, sure, you get the start of the fight pretty nicely. Yasuo only ults one person, you get a great engage, back off, and just take your win and go back underneath the tower, because most people are going to back off right in the tower. And now this might be Drake from Team Holding Eggs, if not Challenger yet doesn't engage, but it looks like they will.
There's no pause in the mid lane, but he is coming down. They've got to be careful about this.
So
Lux ult used.
Oh, Jhin is so close to death. Debugging right around the corner. Nice engage from the... Oh, that's a fight all over the place.
Yeah,
the 10 picks up Lulu. And Yasuo did finally finish off the Jhin, and that is going to be trying the ult. Darius did pick up one just before going down. There is still 2 alive on both sides. The pings there, they know where this blue team is. Team Holding Eggs going to be caught out. As, the Akali engages on the Lux, does get the kill. Now there is a fed Yasuo around the corner. Can they 2v1 him? This is what it all comes down to.
No, they can't.
Recall from Akali trying to... As a red buff as well. Oh! Okay, well, you could just run away. She does have the blue buff as well, so looks like they are going to be able to make
She's
out.
Oh. Good Akali mechanic, though.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But can I just comment real fast? Please be aware of the champion. Oh, Yasuo wants to get in on the Kayn. Nice knock-up as well from that demon form Yasuo. He's going to try to chase in on the Akali, but forced to back off when she goes invisible. Be aware of the team that you're playing with. And if they have a jump, please don't kill those minions, because Akali was like ready to jump, had already queued up her jump to the minion, and then Kayn killed those first couple of minions, and Akali just stops for a half second in the mid lane because the queue for a jump goes away. So see it all the time with different people, especially when you're playing with like a Braum or even a Wukong, is people are queued up to jump to somebody that'll save them, and then that minion dies, and you're like, oh, well, that was gonna take place, but. Wukong getting engaged on the top lane. Jafar taking a good bit of damage. Sorry I took up all the talking time as debugging picks up that one.
Well done, debugging. Yeah, the thing about lethality Jhin, I'm not sure about new lethality Jhin. It deals a lot of damage, and it's for snowballing, but if you're not snowballing, I don't think it's as good as crit outscales in almost every situation.
Oh, can Yasuo 1v5? That is the question as Lux is around the corner. Team Holding Eggs, nice turn onto the Baron. Will it be enough? They might actually pick this up. Lux trying to steal, not quite going to get it as Akali picks it up. And now there's no pauses against 5 people. There's a Lulu Wild Growth. He is going to do some serious damage. There's a snare as well. The invincibility comes out just as Yasuo ults, keeping everybody alive. Jhin picking up 2. Jhin picking up 3. Should be able to pick up the kill on that. No, Kalista around the corner. Gonna get the Ren stacks off. Slashfire gets the final ult. It's a Lux versus Darius. Who's gonna come out the lead? And Lux gets the final snare off. And the game is not challenger yet. But that was absolutely so close. A clutch ultimate from the Taric. What a fight.
Yeah, that Taric ultimate has to be eating the 3-man Yasuo ultimate for absolutely nothing. Then CCing him down and saying, "I'm sorry, you may be what 17-1 now, or now 17-2." Let's see. Yeah, he's 17-2, but invulnerability still means a lot. This Wukong also going down super quick in fights. However, in this situation with Jin getting a few kills and getting a little bit ahead, the lethality might actually work out pretty well because no one's building tank on the. If you have someone tanky, like a Poppy, a Taric, especially somebody who deals a little bit of damage, like an Olaf, lethality sucks. It's really good at taking out squishies. Terrible at taking out. Doesn't synergize at all with Lord Dominic's regards. So you end up not being able to really deal with anybody who has more armor than you have lethality. But we're going to see about this push in the bottom lane. Darius TPing down there early. Calarakian is a little bit bold walking into the...
Yeah, there's no pause. Going to get a little bit of damage down. That's going to 2-man ultimate onto the tank line, though. Is it going to be enough to keep everybody else busy? Akali going to go in. It's not going to shut down just yet. Wild Growth onto the Yasuo. That should be enough. As now 2 kills for the Kalista. She is just so good at executing people. Fate's Call, tossing the Lulu in. There's a redemption, but not going to be enough to keep Jin alive as there's no pause. Continue just this going all the way in. Has the flash use as well. Now diving in onto the Kayn. Is just no stopping him as he dashes out to the side. But no, the tower's enough to stop him as Darius picks up another shutdown on him. And Lux trying to finish off the turret. Lolo going to tank it as the team goes by. Nicely done there from the support. That's what supports do. And it's always sad or funny, or however you choose to view it, when you see somebody with very little base attack damage trying to take down a structure, and the Lux just slowly auto-attacking.
Yeah, it's kind of humorous. I wouldn't go in on this.
Ooh, Tara going in onto the Kalista, but it might be enough as the Darius comes in now. Nice whimsy there from the Lulu, going to stop any further initiation, as well as the snare onto the Jin. They're going to be able to get out pretty safe. There is a Infernal Drake. Or not Infernal Drake. Let me actually double check that. It's just a Drake coming up. It's a Mountain Drake. That'll be showing up in just a minute. But with a nearly 10,000 gold in the lead, not Challenger yet, should, in all scenarios, win this game. But it truly comes down to the use of the Taric ult and whether or not Slashfire on this Darius can get a chain dunk ult off. Because if they get people low enough that he can start dunking people from 400 health to 0, they just could win the fight and win the game.
Yeah. Slashfire's so far behind, though. He has 80 CS at 27 minutes.
Ooh, there's that Jin ultimate we were talking about. This skirmish going to be slowing down Dayak. That's a nice snare. Is it going to be enough? So low. Held the Yasuo coming around the side. Everyone from Team Holding Eggs is chasing onto this. Lux Kayn as well there. Sees the Yasuo. Decides to back off. All of Not Challenger Yet. It's coming in from the side. This is actually not good for Not Challenger Yet because they are so split. Whereas Team Holding Eggs is grouped very nicely.
Yeah. Doubt. So,
But that really does, like, in almost all cases, that Lux should have been dead, because if the Jin had not missed one of his shots, his other 3 hit, but if he had not missed one of his shots, that Lux would have been dead. And that's what we were talking about, these picks, is that they have great long-distance engage. Oh, nice double stun there onto both the Kalista and the Yasuo. Fate's Call in with the Wukong double knockup. Is it going to be enough? There's the Taric ultimate coming out, but only on 2 people. The Jin still untouched, but Yasuo with Wild Growth is so huge. Going in, cleaning people up, but Akali on the back line might be able to get the Lux just before going down. No, does not. That Lux so low health needs to back. Why are you moving forward, Lux?
Why are you... What? Bro.
Okay, this Lux,
you know how this is gonna go.
Had like 10 health and is sticking around, but because it is an ace, Not Challenger Yet picks up the kills, Not Challenger Yet picks up the inhibitor, and they could probably finish the game as there's about 30 seconds on most of these players, but they are going to go for safe. They're going to pick up the second inhibitor in the top lane, and Baron is up in a minute. They also have that Mountain Drake that they could pick up, so I think they're probably just going to go straight for Mountain.
Yeah. This is getting to the point where the game almost entirely over. That last team fight, taking down 2 inhibs, I feel like closing out's going to be a little bit of a formality. All they have that ultimate happened.
Yeah. So I think the key is that while I certainly think it's a little bit over the top for Not Challenger yet to take the mountain and to back off safely, go for the Baron and that sort of stuff. They really do want to make sure that they win, and they could have overstayed. Lux is pretty low health. There was a couple of the members that had used their ultimates and all that sort of stuff. And so it is the safe route, and you do want to commend a team for not throwing, not being crazy. We like to see crazy plays here, but it is truly the safe play to back off after they got those inhibitors. Now, they didn't get the worst inhibitor, which is that bottom lane inhibitor for Team Holding Eggs. But even still, it's going to be so rough for them to try to stop this. A 21-3 Yasuo, and even more importantly, that 12-3 Callista with Hurricanes. Oh my gosh, that's so much damage.
Yep. Just about everybody on Not Challenger Yet is fed in some way, shape, or form. All team Not Challenger Yet is just go on there, pick up the Baron. I mean, there's pretty much no way they can contest it if the enemy team pushes the waves first. There's just nothing they can do about it. So push in your super minion waves, get a slow push wave going in the bottom, and when those three crash at the same time, then go take the Baron, close it out with super minion. And there's nothing that they can do to respond. Or they could just go for one massive fight at the end and try. That's looking like about what they're gonna do.
Yeah, so they're not even worried about the Baron. They can fall back on that if a team fight starts to go a little bit sour. They do not have the Ocean Drake, but at this point of the game, it is pretty darn late. The other thing that I liked was that they weren't quite up to 6 items yet, and so they definitely are pushing that 6 items now, whereas most, you can see an empty slot nearly for the entire team Holding Eggs. They aren't even quite finished with their 5th item, yet even their 4th item. You got that Doran's Shield still on the Darius. And so by backing, they definitely guarantee they have the item advantage, they have the power advantage, the gold advantage, they have every advantage. They're going to push out the spot lane, get the 3rd inhibitor, and just cleanly close out this game. There shouldn't be much the Team Holding Eggs can do to stop them, other than, as we said, a perfect Taric ultimate on all 5 team members as the Yasuo ults in, and Slashfire just going completely ham.
Yeah. I wouldn't rely too much on Slashfire doing lion's share of the carrying. He's just so far behind in this. Really, the team fight's going to depend on Phantom of Temp.
Assassinating that back line. They're going to go in top laner, lonely top laner, sorry. Going to use a little bit of health. They're still going to be doing a little bit of skirmishing here. Nice knock up onto the Yasuo, but not going to do much as he gets that auto onto the tower. Uses the wind wall just to stop all that. Look at the damage as they group so hard. And there's that Taric ultimate. There should be nothing to stop Not Challenger. The Yasuo picking up a triple kill. I think it's even a quadra kill. No, Callista stole the Taric as well. No Penta available. Akali trying to get the last kill onto it. He does! Akali, Phantom of Temp, picks up the kill on the Callista. The game is over. That's all that matters, is that Akali picks up that kill. That's just crazy. I like that. So, game completely in the hand of Not Challenger Yet. Picking up the... eventually, there we go. Winning the game as Jafar rage quits at the very end, even though his team won.
I always rage quit. That way I get reported. Just how I roll, man.
Just how you roll. So, as we said, that was mostly decided by the time that picks and bans were over, and just so heavily in the hands of Not Challenger Yet just from those picks. But there was a couple good plays. Something I wanted to comment on briefly was that I was saying that it almost would be worth trying to bait the Yasuo ult in by grouping. The issue with that is that Taric ult takes so long to truly land and give everybody that invulnerability that it's so nearly impossible to time that. And by the time that you start it, everyone can see it. There's no reason for Yasuo to go in on it. And so you saw there at the end, Wukong got the invisible ultimate off, knocking everybody up. Yasuo with the ult into a 4-man or 3-man, I think somebody might have flashed ultimate, and the Taric ult hadn't even registered on your screen before all the damage was already done, the fight was over, and then the ultimate comes down on Tarek alone because there wasn't any teams around to get the benefit of it.
You see, the thing that happened there is you saw a glimmer of hope for holding eggs there in the middle, where Phantom of Tempt was going off. Slashfire made a good teleport play down in the bottom lane, really capitalizing on the fact that Yasuo couldn't follow him, and he knew that. Very well played, and probably the best play that he made the entire game. Now, to come together for holding egg. When it fell apart for them was when they started grouping. Have a crazy 5v5 team comp, like not yet drafted, then the last thing you want to group avoid team fights at all costs. What they needed to do was revolve around their win condition of comp. The Phantom of Tempt nearly soloed out Yasuo on a couple of needed to do was put him in the top lane against Yasuo, who just wanted to split and really put pressure in that top lane, and then get Jhin and Antarik in the mid lane, and then put Slashfire down bot where he could solo farm, get his gold up, and really become a frontliner. And then he could affect the map via teleport, which he did on one or two, and then he became a real threat, whereas in that 1v1 Yasuo, well, Yasuo is just a snowball champion anyway, so once he got a little bit of an edge, it was downhill from there. So you had a glimmer of hope, but all in all, it ended up going downhill because they play around their win condition, and I have to give massive props
some thrilling heroics
to Team Not Challenge. There's some great execution. There's some synergy in Champion Select, and to our MVP, there's no pause of the winning team. Congratulations. How many is that, by the way? That's like 4. Let's see.
I wouldn't be surprised. Something I was going to say is that most of that win condition is on this Yasuo, who played incredibly, just out of his mind in a beautiful way. But if you look at the gold graph, it is fairly close between the other 4 members of Not Challenger Yet and all 5 members of Team Holding Eggs. It really was just the Yasuo that pushed them over the edge. And as you said, played to their win condition, played for that team fight. You saw that once there's no pause, he got the second tier turret top, right? And had won his lane completely, single-handedly, finished all of that off. And then he grouped. And he never left his team's side. Always there for the fights, always there for the dragons, always there for the barons. And he no longer was trying to play that split push, but instead was grouped with his team. And that was just really, really good.
For the most part, he did split push top. And then once he got his lane to the point where it was no longer safe for him to push, he had taken the second tier turret, and pushing an inhib turret by yourself is almost suicide. So then he would go